When the enemy's within me, picture me, my identity's winner. Checking my pedigree, this is my autobiography. More than a philosophy, life is living and I gotta be driven. Given my history, rising above the odds of World War Who? You, World War Who? It's up, World War Who? It's true, I think we're fighting ourselves. World War Who? World War Who? It's you, World War Who? It's self, I think I'm fighting myself.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the World War U podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mansfield. In today's episode, I want to talk about two things that people get wrong. It's two words that people use, but they use them in the wrong manner: sacrifice and investment. So wherever you look, like if you look on the internet, you'll find people talk about you need to sacrifice for a better you, or you need to invest in a better you. But most times you notice that people don't actually understand the concept, or they don't drill down into what it actually means to sacrifice and what it means to invest. In the most simple ways, the best way to look at it is, if there's a benefit at the end of whatever you are doing, it is not a sacrifice, it's an investment. So if there's a reward for you at the end of what you are doing, it is not a sacrifice, it's an investment. So when you sacrifice something, there is no benefit for you. It might benefit the next person or something else, but you as an individual are not going to see the benefit from that. But as long as there is a benefit that you're going to get or gain from whatever it is you're pursuing or doing, then that is an investment. So a lot of people go through life thinking they are sacrificing when they're actually investing. And some go through life investing, thinking that they're sacrificing. So when they get to the end of whatever they were doing, they are shocked when the result is not what they anticipated or expected, because they went about it the wrong way. So you may be wondering, why is this important? It's important to understand this because sacrifice has principles that follow. Same as investment, there's principles that follow. So if you apply the wrong principle to the right thing, you are not going to get the desired result. I remember reading a quote online that said, if you aim for the wrong target, even when you hit it, you've missed. If you aim for the wrong target, even if you hit it, you've missed. J. Cole says in one of his songs, it's amazing that you've come a long way, but it's also sad because you've been going the wrong way. So when you apply certain principles to the right thing, even if it's right, you're not going to get the desired result. So this is where I just want to touch on what it actually is to sacrifice. Now I'll give you a more clear-cut example. We read the story of Jesus sacrificing himself for the remission of sin of the world. So Jesus dies so that the world can be saved. Now this is a sacrifice because it does not benefit Jesus directly as an individual. He does not benefit from it, but we, the people, benefit from his sacrifice. So Jesus was not investing in us, he sacrificed for us. Now his resurrection on the other end is an investment in himself. So his resurrection is an investment. Now you may be looking at this from your own specific life and realize that, well, there's certain things that I've sacrificed for so and so, for A, B, and C. How then can I quantify that this was a sacrifice? I'll take you back to where we started. If there's a result at the end of whatever you are doing, it's not a sacrifice. So you need to treat it as an investment. If you read the Bible, we find Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he's trying to negotiate a way out of this sacrifice because he realizes there is no personal gain. There's no reward for him at the end of this. So he prays to the Father because he understands that he has no option but to go through this, and he is not in control of the situation. So when we talk sacrifice, more chances than not, you have no control of what is happening to you. You just need to do what needs to be done. And there is no benefit for you in the long run or in the future, but it still needs to be done. So the principles that guide a sacrifice are you understanding that, one, you are not in control. Two, it is for the greater good of something bigger than yourself. Something that is not you. So when you look at a situation where you are saying, I went for 10 years not paying for Netflix so that I could invest that money in my business, or so that I could put that money in my business, it's not a sacrifice. It's an investment because you were hoping to make money in the future. A sacrifice, I'll give you an example of a sacrifice where you actually stop eating so that you can pay your child's school fees. So whether you die of hunger or not, that's another whole thing. But the recipient of that gesture is your child. So you've put yourself in a place where you are actually not going to benefit directly from this thing. Because there is no guarantee that you pay his school fees and he's actually going to pass. There's no guarantee that even if he passes, he's going to take care of you. That is what sacrifice is. You are not looking to be paid in the future for anything. You are doing this because you believe that there is something greater after you. And this is where people start talking about generational wealth. They start talking about leaving a legacy. This is where sacrifice comes in. Now, investment on the other end, there are principles that actually guide how you invest. So investment has risk, but it has what people call manageable risk. So every investment has got risk, but it is manageable risk. Sacrifice, on the other hand, is all risk. You cannot manage this. It has to be done and it has to be done. That's it. There's no plan B. You are plan A, you are the end. But with an investment, you need to treat it as such. So you need to understand, you need to teach yourself, you need to learn how to invest. Because when you apply sacrifice principles to an investment, what happens is you're going to go all in without understanding that there is manageable risk. So without me spending $1 million for this venture to actually work in the name of sacrifice, I need to do it in increments of $100,000 and figure out if it's actually working. So you need to get to a place where you can actually manage your risk. So whether it's in sport, it's business, it's relationship, you need to understand that an investment comes with principles of investment. So you need to learn what it is to invest and how to invest, how to diversify portfolios. You need to understand that language. And when it comes to sacrifice, you also need to understand that language, that it starts with you and it ends with you. There is no benefit. There's nothing coming back to you after this. It's something that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life, if you're actually alive to see it. So when you start talking about this, or when you start going through certain things in life and say, you know what, I want to sacrifice for this, really take time to sit down and realize, is this a sacrifice or is it an investment? What am I doing it for? Who am I doing it for? Once you figure that one out, you need to start applying the correct principles that go with what you are doing. An investment needs investment principles. A sacrifice needs sacrifice principles. So you will see this more in a family setting where both things run concurrently. There's going to be a time where you are investing and sacrificing at the same time. There's going to be a time where that happens. But at that same moment still, apply the right principles for each phase. What is investment? What is sacrifice? Take time to actually sit and realize and understand these concepts before you just start applying them in your life. I hope this helps someone out there. And as always, we hope you and yours are safe. We'll catch you again next week.
World War Who? You. World War Who? It's up. World War Who? It's true. I think we're fighting ourselves. World War Who? World War Who? It's you. World War Who? It's up. I think I'm fighting myself.